Hi guys, so today I'm doing another old family recipe. As you can tell, this card is pretty used, and it's simply called 4 pork chops. So first we're just gonna salt and pepper the pork chops, and I'm only using 2 because they're big. That's probably really loud for you. Now the recipe calls for 1 can of thin sliced carrots, 1 package or 1 can of green beans, and 1 can of small whole potatoes. I'm using all fresh except for the green beans. I'll be using canned green beans. I hope you can hear me. So while these are browning, season the other side. See if that helps. So I'm using my grandpa's old Presto electric pot. So then what you're going to do is, you see that? You're going to use 1 cup of water and a bouillon cube. I did not have any bouillon cubes, so I used the Better Than Bouillon, the equivalent measurements wise, to 1 cup of hot water, and that's dissolved. And now I'm going to add, you add 2 teaspoons of dried minced onion, a half a teaspoon of sage, and a half a teaspoon of thyme. When I came across this recipe, going through my recipes today, I was thinking this is a perfect recipe to use your preps. You can use your home canned potatoes, your home canned carrots, your homegrown herbs, your dried onions. So I thought that was cool. So it's a great prepper recipe. And you add all of that to your broth. After the pork chops are browned, I'm going to add my fresh potatoes, and I'm using small red new potatoes and the little baby carrots, what they call them in the grocery store. And these will simmer for 20 minutes in this broth that we just made. So I'm going to go ahead and let those fresh veggies simmer with the pork chops. But if you were using the canned, you would add all of those after the pork chops had simmered for 20 minutes. Let them simmer an additional 15 minutes. That's the green beans and carrots, I'm sorry. And then at the very end, you would add your canned potatoes and simmer those another 5 minutes. And this is a 1-pot meal. I'm going to turn my pork chops over. Let those brown for a minute, and then we'll add our potato and carrot, and then for the last 15 minutes I will add the green beans. And you know, you could double, triple, or whatever this recipe. I haven't had this in a long time. I don't remember what I thought they were called, but yeah, it's just 4 pork chops is the name of it. I figured I'd use Grandpa's pot since I was using his recipe. These are the pork chops that are underneath the pretty ones when you buy a big package like at Sam's or Costco. You know how they're real pretty on top and they seem to grow and turn into what I would call a pork steak at the bottom. I will only eat a half of one. Big carrot fan, so I'm not going to add a whole lot. And I think I'll peel another potato. I'm going to peel 2 more of those little potatoes. All I did was peel a ring. Have you ever seen that? My mom did that. Peel a ring around them and then slice them in half. So I'm going to do 2 more. And I'm going to go ahead and add our broth. I'm going to turn this down to simmer. Put the lid on and let these cook for the first 20 minutes, and then I'll check the potatoes and the carrots, and if they're done I will add the green beans. But basically they'll simmer for 35 minutes is what you want. That's the full simmer time. So yeah, I'll do that. And then we'll be back. I feel like I'm forgetting to tell you something. But yeah, going to let these simmer. I'll probably let them go 25 minutes since this is done by adding those other veggies. And I'm using raw. So I'm kind of messing with the recipe here. I do have canned everything, but why not use fresh when you can, right? So, or maybe I should have stuck to the recipe if I'm going to do video. But yeah, I'm going to let these go for 25 minutes and then we'll be back. Hot. Okay. Now we're going to add a can of drained green beans or a bag of frozen green beans, whatever you have. And let it simmer for another 15 minutes. And we will be back when it's ready. Let me turn this down. It's ready, guys. Let's get a little something on the plate. I can't tell you how good this smells. This is a simple yet tasty recipe. Make it a pork chop. Now this juice, you can either thicken it with a roux. You can mix some flour and water or cornstarch and water and thicken that up and make a gravy. Or just get a spoon. And drizzle it over. I can make that. I don't eat enough to make pretty plates for myself. When you fill a plate, you can make it pretty. Make it pretty. You can see the thyme and oh, it smells so good. Oops. So can you see it? Is it fogging up the camera? So I'm going to take a bite. They're really tender. Kind of hard to do on the pan. Get some of that juice. Oh, it's hot. It's really good, you guys. Give it a try, and I'll read it off as it should be done. You brown your pork chops in oil after you salt and pepper them. Add your bouillon and the onion flakes, thyme, and sage to hot water. 1 cup of water. After you brown your pork chops, you add that. Cover and simmer 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, add your canned carrots and your bag of green beans or canned green beans. Simmer for another 15 minutes. Add your canned potatoes and simmer for another 5 minutes. And as you saw, I used the fresh potatoes and carrots, so I changed it up a little bit, but it's still really good. The only way that I really like canned potatoes is fried. So if you have any questions, post them down below. If you haven't subbed, please think about it. A thumbs up always helps me out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.